What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you are new to the channel, my name is Parker Nirenstein, and this is Vehicle Virgins. Today, we are reviewing one of the craziest war-ready trucks I have ever seen. Fitting enough, this video is actually sponsored by Wargaming, who came to me with an opportunity to play their epic game, World of Warships. And it turns out it's actually one of the most fun games I've played in a very long time. You get to command a massive naval fleet of some of the most iconic ships in history, and it's the perfect balance of action and strategic gameplay, which is why I know you Vehicle Virgins subscribers are going to love it. It is the thinking man's action game, and it's 100% free to play. I'm going to talk more about it at the end of today's video, but if you are antsy, I've got a link in the description below that comes with a fantastic discount code that gives you tons of free awesome perks. Now, this is only available to the first 300 new users who click the link. Now let's get on to the review. Cue the cinematic shots.
Before the night, the neon lights, the darkness invites us. Move left to right, don't lose the high. It's dangerous, drowning in the twilight. Electric eyes, you can't deny the thunder inside us.
Next to me is the Rhino GX, a monstrous, aggressive, battle-ready vehicle that looks like nothing else on the road. And thanks to O'Gara Coach of Westlake, California, today we are going to review it for Vehicle Virgins. Now, this is made by a company called US Specialty Vehicles, USSV for short. The Rhino GX is actually based on an F450 chassis, although apart from the headlights, it really doesn't look like a Ford F450 whatsoever. The Rhino is powered by a 6.7-liter Power Stroke diesel V8 that's so far off the ground, I can't even really show it to you. It cranks out 440 horsepower and get this, 860 pound-feet of torque, characteristic of it being a diesel, and it's able to tow 10,000 pounds. There's also another engine option, a 6.8-liter V10, and while it's cool that it is in fact the V10, it makes a lot less power and makes the Rhino quite a bit more sluggish. But honestly, standing in front of this thing, the presence is enormous and imposing and just screams, get the hell out of the way. In fact, we passed several people in F-150 Raptors, F-250s, big Cummins diesels, and they all looked at this like they were inferior. And in fact, when driving the Rhino, you pretty much feel bigger than anything else on the road. Now, the Rhino's body panels are custom manufactured out of steel, and from the looks of it, it appears to be fully bulletproof and bomb-proof. And well, actually, it isn't, although its aesthetics are aggressive enough that likely nobody's going to attack the USSV Rhino. USSV explains that the reason they didn't make it bulletproof is because, one, most people don't require that sort of thing, and two, it would make it extremely, extremely heavy. How heavy are we talking? 14 to 20,000 pounds. Imagine driving a 20,000 pound vehicle around, and this is supposed to be pretty usable. Instead, it weighs a super lightweight 9,800 pounds. Come around to the side of the Rhino and you'll notice its monstrous fender flares, both in the front and the rear. You'll also notice that it has some of the most uniquely shaped windows I've ever seen. What other vehicle have you seen, honestly, that has hexagonal shaped windows? Probably none. It also has giant running boards to help you get into the vehicle. And if you're really doing some crazy special operations, there's even handles up here for you to hang off of, as well as footholes in the doors themselves that can support up to 300 pounds, which hopefully is enough for me. Around back, it looks just as much like a tank as it does an armored cash truck. We've also got light pods all the way around the Rhino for proper nighttime illumination, as well as a full-size 38-inch spare tire mounted to the back. Well, the exterior of the Rhino is ridiculous and stunning. Wait till you see the inside. Let's go hop in. You see, the interior is what makes the Rhino so absurd. It's an absolute brute, a tank-looking aggressive vehicle on the outside, yet it's extremely luxurious on the inside. You see, when Hummer went out of business, especially in the Chinese market, there was a massive demand for something that looked really cool, had off-road capabilities, but was also really nice on the inside. That's why USSV launched this at the Beijing Auto Show. Now, since then, over 300 Rhino GXs have been sold, most of which have gone to the Chinese and Middle Eastern markets. The materials used in the interior of the Rhino are sublime. Everything is covered in leather and wood, and the leather is some of the softest I've ever felt. Honestly, these chairs are so crazy comfortable. You could really drive this for a very long time. The technology in this thing is incredible. The rear view mirror not only works as obviously a normal rear view mirror, it also has a built-in screen. But the crazy part is you can only see the screen when your head is positioned in a certain way. That way it can always work as a backup camera, but it's also touch sensitive. You can check your calendar on the rear view mirror. You can also see a frontal camera as well as play music and even a DVR recorder in your rear view mirror. And if you need more seating, this actually folds up so you can have a third person in the front row. Let's hop in the back though. The back is where things get truly crazy. I mean, look at how much leg room I have. I am fully extending my legs and they don't touch the seat in front of me. And these captain's chairs in the second row, they feel like lazy boys. The leather is so soft. I could just imagine sitting here for a 12-hour journey, no problem at all, and no stress on your lower back. I mean, just look at the inside of this. It looks like a limousine, except it's wider than a limousine, so you have even more space. We've got a sunroof here, looking out these crazy rear windows. The seats themselves are 8-way power adjustable. I mean, 8-way, oh, that's pretty cool. Ooh, 8-way power adjustability for the second row seats. That's epic. We've also got this beautiful center console here that has a bunch of controls for the climate, as well as spaces to put cup holders. Look at the headroom in here too. The Rhino can be configured 4 different ways. There's the standard Rhino, then there's the select model that gives you the heavy-duty towing package, as well as off-road wheels and tires, and LED light bars or pods all the way around. Then you can even get a 7-seat model, which we are in here if you need to lug around extra passengers. And at the top of the line, we have the executive package that has even more luxurious chairs, more legroom, a partition in the front, and a 40-inch screen. Now, the select model, as well as this, also comes with ambient lighting. We've got an Alpine sound system. There's a large Alpine screen for me to enjoy if I'm sitting in the back. It's just a nice place to be. You absolutely forget that the outside of this looks like it's ready for the apocalypse. So what is the Rhino actually like to ride and drive in? Well, we've got my sister Madison, who's visiting for the next couple days along with me to find out exactly that. When you initially get into this thing, it is so high off the ground and extremely intimidating. But actually, after driving it the better part of 5 miles, I've become pretty comfortable with it already, which shocked me. Let's go ahead and take this out on the road. What are some of your favorite parts about this? You've been looking around it all day.
I would say the reactions are the best part, because
yes,
really no one knows what the heck it is. There were a couple people who stopped by and I could hear them talking and saying, you know, I have no idea what kind of vehicle that is.
Well, literally, just as you said, reactions, those 2 bikers right there, I've never seen an older woman smile that hard in my entire life. She was like...
And then I would say the interior is one of the most shocking parts, because you get in and it almost looks like the interior of a Bentley.
Yeah, it's got the quilted leather, kind of like a Bentley, and it's got a limousine vibe to it. And you totally do forget that the outside of this doesn't look like a limousine.
I think these are the most comfortable seats, actually, that I've ever sat in my life, especially the back ones.
Considering the fact that it weighs 9,800 pounds, it's not the quickest in a straight line. That was full throttle. Now, it's fast enough. In fact, 860 pound-feet of torque, all of it is available at just 1,600 RPMs. But it's no rocket ship, that's for sure. For something this large and so heavy, it really is pretty easy. The steering effort is super light. Part of the reason why it rides so well is that the suspension system has been completely overhauled from the normal F450. We've got an oversized front sway bar, and then in the rear, instead of having leaf springs, we've got a completely different hydraulic suspension setup called compressible liquid adaptive suspension system made by Liquid Springs Technologies. The suspension system is constantly scanning the road to adjust performance and ride quality to make it as good as it can be. It also has a self-leveling system, and then it's got adjustability up here. We've got it in comfort mode right now, which is like crazy comfortable. We can put it into normal mode, which is a little stiffer, and then sport has the biggest difference. It definitely rides much harder. And then there is height adjustability as well, where in normal we can go all the way up to high. Shall we try that?
Even I can feel it when you switched it into sport
Yeah,
mode.
sport is it's much firmer. For such a large vehicle, I actually had to flip a U-turn and fill this up at the gas station. It can turn really well. I thought I was not going to be able to make the U-turn whatsoever, but it really has a normal truck or normal large SUV turning radius despite its massive appearance.
I almost think it turns better than your Mercedes.
It does. It might turn better than the E63. Obviously, it's all-wheel drive, it's off-road capable, but I can imagine the majority of these things actually just being driven on the road because it's so comfortable. It's like a motorhome. You could go on a long-distance road trip in this thing, no problem whatsoever.
I would rather go on a road trip in this than probably any car that I've been in.
Really? I'm having a blast driving this. I was really nervous for the first couple minutes because it's so large, but you get used to it almost right away, and after that, it's fun to drive. So what is the point of the Rhino? Well, what is the point of buying a Ferrari or a Lamborghini? You can't really justify purchases like that rationally. It's an emotional decision. I mean, when you see this, you either are appalled by it or you think it's the coolest thing in the world. And then the fact that not only does it look like a tank on the outside, it's luxurious on the inside, and it's pretty easy to drive, it starts to make a little bit more sense. For people who want to stand out, I mean, this car is really about standing out. You're not likely, even in Beverly Hills or maybe even in Dubai, you're not likely to drive to the mall or drive on your local commute in one of these and ever see another one because, well, they've only made 300 of them. Honestly, I like this thing a lot. If you're interested in this vehicle, it is available at O'Gara Coach in Westlake. Let's head back to the house.
Back at my house, that truck was absolutely insane. I've been absolutely tearing it up in the USS Arizona for the last week. It's my favorite ship. There's 4 different classes of ships ranging from destroyers to aircraft carriers. The actual detail in the ships themselves is actually staggering, and they are extremely upgradable so you can perform better in battle. Even the environments you play in are strategically designed to be engaging, make each match unique, and ensure the action never stops. World of Warships brings you and me endless hours of strategy, tactical gameplay, and heart-pounding combat. And for the history buffs out there, the game even features some of the most iconic warships in naval history, like the HMS Iron Duke and the HMS Monarch. Standard battle is my favorite form of play. There are 2 teams and 2 bases. The game commences and you battle it out until one team destroys all of the opponent's ships, you run out of time, or you capture the opponent's base. The reason I like World of Warships so much is that it actually takes serious strategy. Should you use armor-piercing rounds or heavy explosive rounds? Well, it depends on the enemy's armor level. You also have to work together with your team to ensure everyone is protected and your offense is as strong as possible. It's seriously countless hours of free entertainment. Oh yeah, and Wargaming has over 7 million people currently playing online, so it's kind of a big deal. And because you guys are Vehicle Virgin subscribers, I'm hooking you up with a huge head start. I've got a link in the description below with a discount code for the first 300 new users that's gonna give you 250 doubloons, 1,000,000 credits, the HMS Campbelltown premium ship, 1 port slot, and 3 days premium time. Trust me, once you see all the ships that are offered and the upgrades, you're gonna want all of these perks. Now, it's only available to new users. Make sure to check out World of Warships in the description below. Seriously, it's a blast, and by doing so, you're helping support the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video. Peace!